Coming up on This Week in Radio Tech, we're live at NAB 2024 in the Central Hall. We're at the Broadcast Bionics booth. This guy's going to be with us for our tip of the week. Hi, John.
How are you, Kirk? It's good to be here.
I can't wait to do the whole show. We've got a whole bevy of cool guests, so it's coming up next on TWiRT.
This Week in Radio Tech is brought to you by Broadcasters General Store with outstanding service, savings, and support. Online at bgs.cc. By Broadcast Bionics with the Bionics Studio, including talk show control, social media, and visual radio. Broadcast Bionics brings exceptional audience engagement to radio and TV. By Angry Audio. Audio problems disappear when you get angry at angryaudio.com. By Nautel, worry-free transmission you can count on with outstanding control, reliability, efficiencies, and Nautel's unmatched 24/7 customer support. Online at nautel.com. And by Max Connect Wireless, prioritized high-speed internet service designed for transmitter sites and remote broadcasts.
Hey, welcome into This Week in Radio Tech. We are live from Las Vegas at the NAB 2024. We're in the Central Hall of the Las Vegas Convention Center. Apparently, they've torn up the North Hall, and they've moved everybody to the Central, South, and the new West Hall. So it's a different environment for us. We're here at the Broadcast Bionics booth, or stand, as it's often called, in the Central Hall, having a good time. I'm Kirk Harnack. So glad you could join us. We got a whole bunch of guests here and a special interview with George Whittam coming up here. But right now, I want you to meet my newest friend, Darnell. Hey, Darnell, how you doing, man?
Doing good, doing good.
Good to see you.
Yes, indeed. It's a great show.
Well, and we got to see you, what, yesterday or Sunday?
Yesterday, and also Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're an engineer based out of San Diego.
San Diego with Salem Media Group.
But you have an accent that's becoming familiar to me.
Yeah, actually I'm from Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean where it's hot. Just got back from there. It's very hot. And I had the opportunity to meet a contingent from Trinidad and Tobago during the NAB on Sunday.
Okay. Oh, during the Nautel users group.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was great.
So you saw some friends from there.
Well, other broadcasters and media people. I made out the accent and I was like, you're from Trinidad. Yeah.
Well, you know, we have a connection there. My daughter lives in Trinidad, and she recently got married to a Trinidadian guy, Jesus Alistair Payne.
Okay. Yeah. When I go back later this year or next year, I could probably, introduce myself and say hi.
He's an awesome guy. He's about 8'3".
Wow.
Wow.
Guy. Yeah.
So tell me about what you do in San Diego for broadcast engineering.
So I maintain the whole facility
at Salem.
Not only the transmitters, but I do some of the local IT work and basically keep the station on the air and also keep everybody happy from making sure their computers work properly to make sure that I answer any questions that they have with regards to problems.
Would you say that as an engineer for Salem in San Diego, do you have any issues or problems or challenges there that are unusual, or are they pretty run-of-the-mill that every engineer runs into?
Well, I think what has happened is as time goes along and technology comes in, what I've had to do was expand my knowledge base, take classes I decide, and also start to understand more than just the electronics part of broadcasting. I had to learn the IT part and also the business part as well.
Oh.
Because what that drives is what I would forecast to my GM in terms of what it is I'll like to have that will help the company be profitable or create another revenue stream. But I have to do that contingent with how much money we're meeting and if we're meeting budget or not meeting budget. So,
would you say you have a good relationship with your management and with your on-air staff?
Oh yeah, my GM, he's awesome. I'll show him this afterwards. Steve, you're an awesome general manager. You allow me to come out to Vegas, even when things are not so good. So, yeah, budget-wise, but he allowed me to come out.
So if you had to point out some technology or equipment that you've seen here at NAB, what's been kind of interesting to you?
Definitely AI.
Oh,
AI is interesting. And the reason why it's interesting is that from my standpoint, it shows that it could substitute the live person. And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I know it's a change thing that is occurring. And as an engineer, I should know about it because I could wake up tomorrow and it's a brand new world. So, and that's something that I have to adapt to.
As engineers, we're really not sure what AI is going to do to us or for us, or how it's going to help us or not. I think it's cool that you can start to be able to type in symptoms of a piece of equipment failing or acting badly, and AI would just do a good job of scanning the whole internet and finding out all about that problem. Lately, I've noticed that if I type a symptom or an issue or a problem into Google, the top response is their AI response. Right. And sometimes it seems like a really good response.
Yeah, it is. But I think there's also the intuition that AI cannot replace.
Yeah.
There are many times working on equipment. I go back to my knowledge base. For instance, it wasn't too long ago, one of my mod monitors was acting crazy and giving this loud hum. And I was talking to a colleague of mine, Jimmy in Cleveland, Jimmy the Greek. I don't know if you know him.
No.
He's with the Salem affiliate in Cleveland. And he was like, oh, yeah, that's the capacitors. And I was joking, oh, it's the capacitors. And then I took my oscilloscope, saw the DC ripple on the capacitors, and I was like, But intuition, on his behalf, and even as I get to learn more about the intricate things, I don't think AI could go that depth.
Right.
The stuff that as an engineer, it's experience and even some forethought and analyzing the problem. So,
well, if I was AI, my answer would be to every electronic problem, it's the capacitors. And if it's not the capacitors, it's the cables. So, hey, Darnell, I got to run.
All right.
Thank you so much for stopping
Always.
by. And thanks for hanging around for the beginning of the show. I appreciate you very much.
I thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Hey, I'm Kirk Harnack. We're live at the Broadcast Bionics booth, and we're going to hear from Dan McQuillan in a few minutes. Right now, I'm going to ask one of our other guests to pop in, and we're going to do an ad for Nautel. I want to tell you about Nautel, and you can come on in, Bob. Nautel is having an interesting promotion that I want to let you know about. Let me pop it up here. There it is. And I think Suncast is going to pop a graphic up about this. Nautel has something new. They're having an HD radio digital test drive to unlock content, revenue, and ratings potential. I want to thank Nautel for being one of our sponsors here at This Week in Radio Tech. They do so much for the broadcast industry, and they've got this trial coming up. They break down the barriers keeping many broadcasters from trying HD radio broadcasting. HD radio transmission has the potential to create critical presence on the car dashboard and help stations stay competitive in a field of alternative media choices. And to that end, Nautel is creating a digital radio test drive, allowing Nautel customers a 6-month risk-free trial of HD radio with a minimal investment. The trial initiative takes advantage of Nautel's unique software-based air chain. Broadcasters will need a GV2 transmitter. They need content delivery via LiveWire, and they'll need an Xperi license. Now, for eligible broadcasters, Nautel can provide Omnia for Nautel audio processing, Importer, Exporter, and XGen as a software load. And that allows the broadcaster to place their main station and as many as 3 extra multiplexed channels on air for up to 6 months. Broadcasters won't need extra expensive boxes to implement HD radio because the audio processing, the digital encoding, and the synchronization is all running inside the GV2. This is a really cool and unique program that Nautel has worked out to let you, the broadcaster, if you're not already doing HD, to get it on the air. And I'll tell you from my experience, I recently, like 9 months ago, put HD on the air with all Nautel equipment in Oxford, Mississippi. It was an eye-opening experience, and it's so cool to get your logos and title and artist information, and you can get album art. We're not doing that yet ourselves, but you can get that on the air, on your radio. And if you got some of those beautiful radio displays in today's modern cars, or maybe an aftermarket like I put into my older BMW, it's really pleasurable to see all that information while you're hearing it on the air. So check out Nautel. Nautel.com is the website, of course, and I appreciate so much their efforts to bring you HD radio on a fairly risk-free trial for a minimal investment. So check it out at Nautel.com. Thanks, Nautel, for doing that. That, by the way, that's a brand new introduction, a brand new announcement that they've just brought online. All right, we're here with Bob Stroop. Hey, Bob, good to see you.
Hey, good to see you, Kirk.
I have known you forever, haven't I?
I thought about it when I saw you, and we've known each other since sometime in the 80s.
Oh, so we didn't go to kindergarten together.
No,
Okay.
almost, though.
And I met you in Senatobia, Mississippi, didn't
Well, actually, you were in Memphis.
Oh, in Memphis, yeah.
In Memphis.
Yeah,
You were doing some broadcast engineering work
That's
there,
right,
and
that's right.
I grew up in and around Memphis. So,
Now, are you still in the Houston area?
yes, I've been
Okay.
there since 1990. It's
So-
still there.
What are you doing day to day these days?
I am the regional engineering manager for iHeart Media in Houston. We have, how many? 7 stations there, 4 AMs and 3 FMs. And then I also cover the Beaumont market, which is 100 miles east of Houston, right on I-10. And there are 6 stations. I'm sorry, 5 stations there. We have 4 FMs and KLVI 560 there.
So what are you seeing here at the show, or what's kind of on your radar? What are you here to check out? Are you here to talk to people, or what's your
number one, talk to manufacturers about problems and new products. And I actually, to help you out with Hotel, I actually was at the users group meeting on Sunday morning, and I saw that. And for in certain situations, like your station in Oxford, that's going to be a really neat, because you don't have to have all the extra boxes that you used to have. It's kind of an all-in-one solution, and it looks like it's going to be a real good thing. And I'm glad Nautel is encouraging people. As part of my history, I first came to Houston to work for Gannett. Gannett was the original one of the original partners in USADR, which was the first HD radio company.
Yeah.
So I've kind of been in it, at least on the sidelines. I wasn't in development, but from the beginning. So it's really great to try every way in the world to get traction for HD, because it's useful. For instance, in Houston, we one of the things we do is we simulcast our AM signals on the HD. And it's something. So, for instance, our 740 AM, which is News Talk, is also on 99.1 HD2. And so, whenever I have I know we have listeners, because whenever I have a problem, the call gets routed to me. And so the management, definitely local management, regards it as very valuable.
Now, being originally Gannett stations, and now and then Clear Channel, iHeart,
right?
You guys were doing HD radio early on there, weren't you?
Yeah, we installed in Houston in 2005.
Oh, wow!
So it was not super early, but early enough.
Well, almost 20 years ago now.
Yeah, and believe it or not, the transmitters that were there then are still serving right along, and so I'm keeping my fingers crossed, because they're getting kind of old.
Well, have you upgraded through the various versions or iterations of HD exciters?
Yes, we do have the newer from another. Maybe I shouldn't mention the name. Another radio equipment manufacturer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's Gates Air, sure.
Yeah, and we have the newer generation. And they did that both in Houston and Beaumont. And one of the nice things, and I'm sure the Nautel box will do this too, is that you don't have to worry about time sync anymore on the HD1 and the analog. So you get blends that are not, they're seamless. It's good to check it every once in a while, because I did have an instance where one time it got a little bit off, and we got listener complaints, actually.
Yeah.
But it worked really well, and it keeps everything in sync. So that's one less thing, because back in the day, it was checking.
It was challenging.
It was challenging to keep it all the plate spinning or whatever. So it's good that the technology has progressed.
Just one more question. So what's on your horizon here? What are you checking out? Any goals to go home with?
I attended a session for that discussed air chains and PPM encoding effectiveness, and that's always on our radar, since we're a big PPM market.
On the one hand, we want the PPM tones to be inaudible, not noticeable, as much as we can. On the other hand, we want them to be heard by the PPM devices.
Devices.
And that's an interesting balancing challenge.
And because we have 4 AMs that are all talk, essentially, it's a talk has always been known that it's been a challenge to encode. So anything that could give us a leg up in that department, I'm looking for.
I don't think it's been productized yet. I don't know what I'm allowed to say, but I was talking to Frank Foti about getting PPM tones to work behind certain voices that don't traditionally do well. and he described to me the methodology that he has figured out. Oh, you know, on the one hand, it's so simple when you understand it. On the other hand, it's so freaking clever.
Well, I can disclose in a certain situation, and I can't say which station, we have an Omni 11 and wrap the PPM encoder around the Omni 11.
Yeah, sure.
And it seems to, I sleep a little bit better at night knowing that my encoding is more consistent doing things that way.
Bob, it's a delight to see you, man.
Great to see you.
You
Kirk.
take care, and I hope to get down to Houston and see you there sometime.
Please do.
But
give me a heads up. I could be over in Beaumont.
Oh, yeah. you know my colleague, Robbie Green.
Oh, yeah, very well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Robbie's been a great addition. I'm sorry you lost him to the engineering community, but he's a great addition to Telos.
Yeah, I knew he would be, and I knew he would be maybe a little bit happier, at Telos.
Okay.
So,
Well, good deal, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Sure, you too.
Hey, it's Kirk Harnack. We're live here at NAB, NAB 2024. Look who's here, Francis Martin. Can you sit with me for a minute?
Of course.
I just want to say hi. It's a pleasure knowing you.
Oh, it's a pleasure knowing you too.
Pleasure.
Pleasure. Yes.
So what brings you to NAB? What's of interest to you?
This is not just my 40th, like on my little Ross. I got Ross.
Oh my gosh.
It's like my 50th, I think.
If you don't know Francis Martin, now
Frank.
you do. Frank
How
Martin.
you doing?
Hi, Frank Martin. We've been Facebook friends forever.
I guess so. I remember we met first with Joe Talbot out at the Longhorn Bar and Grill out by where he lives. And that was fun.
Yeah. Here, picture time. There we go.
The mug. I've been hanging with Shotgun Tom Kelly over at SAS in the West Hall.
He's awesome.
And we went out to dinner Monday night, and it was constant. And Shotgun has that down. You know, he's balls of cue ball. That's why he wears the Smokey the Bear hat.
Okay.
And he doesn't want to show his bald, shiny head. So he's always got the grin, the hat, and mugging every time for the cameras.
So what's been interesting to you here the last couple days?
You know, last time I was on your show, we were talking about the Franken FMs, and right after we did that show, I was real Debbie Downer. I promised to be more upbeat this time. They weren't going to. They all got licenses. They all got. So here in town, I've really been enjoying listening to the Franken FM here, which is now called Club 87.7. I met the owner again at a ATSC 3 thing up in the top of the Westgate, Vincent Castelli, who looks like a Mexican drug lord, by the way.
And by Franken FM, we mean the Channel 6 audio space, right?
Yeah, we have to explain that. KGHD LG Channel 6 is on 87.7 on your FM dial if you don't have a Ford. If you have a Ford, I don't think it goes that low.
Oh.
But, and that has, you remember when stations used to compete, two top 40 stations? That's happening here now with the 87.7 and the people that started it, which is my old friends Holly Adams and Brandon. And after they got the license, they said, we're taking the name Acid FM, we're taking it, and they moved it to the highway stations.
Oh.
So 99.7 KHYZLD is the old dance, it's an EDM format, electronic dance music.
Yeah.
And we've got the Electric Daisy thing coming up in a month here. So there's a huge EDM club music thing. So there's two competing stations, 99.7 KHYZ highway stations, 87.7 the Franken FM, KGHG LD, and you can go back and forth, and it's like they're the same thumpa 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 thumpa. And that's something I remember the old days of radio when top 40 stations used to compete. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's fun to hear that, and I got to see Dr. Vincent Castelli, the Mexican drug lord owner of the Franken FM and everything. So it's been fun.
Frank, great update for us. Thank you. And I did read about some of those getting licensed, getting
all 14
genuine
of them.
Oh, 14?
All 14 Franken FMs were grandfathered in, and they all have licenses now.
Let me a quick inside baseball here. Mr. Schick, could you find Mr. McQuillan and maybe Dan McQuillan? Yeah. Tall guy, British accent, owner of the company. He's going to come do an ad for us. So,
okay. It's ad time here. And that's what pays the bills.
All this glory.
You know, another thing, you were reticent to have me mention on the last show we did last July, my buddy Tag Borland, who owns Logitech Audio.
Yeah.
But now Logitech has merged, and that's big new with this Helix group. So Angry Audio, Studio Hub, Logitech Audio, which is Tag Borland from Houston.
And Max Connect.
and the MK consulting firm. I think
Yes,
that's
yes.
everybody in hemp. So that ties into some of your sponsors, and that's big news for them. And that way they'll have a tag in his low-cost digital mix-it for little radio stations
Right.
that want a $3,500 digital board. I put 3 of those in. Somebody I went to Rice University with in 1977. So
Tag?
yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, Tag is a very clever guy and put some good stuff out. Frank, we gotta talk to Dan
All
McQuillan.
right.
Thank you so much for stopping by, man.
You bet.
All right. Francis Martin, and been a good friend to us. We got Dan McQuillan standing by because it's time for an ad. Dan, you've paid to be here, so come on in. Hi, good to see you. Thank you for the space and the bandwidth. Both are hard to come by. This place is kind of squeezed in, and bandwidth is expensive.
Yeah, I mean, all this trade show stuff is, but you know what? It's great to be back after all that pandemic stuff. And what a buzz there's been around this central hall, I think, this year with, so far we're on, day 3, and it's been rammed the whole time. So
Just before the show started, there were some publishers in your booth handing out an award.
yeah, so we got one of the Best in Show awards for Context, which is our kind of graphics switching system.
Yeah.
So for a while we've been doing camera switching, which is visualizing radio. And the idea of that was really to create these socially shareable assets from audio-led content. But that's led now to quite a lot of streaming and long format kind of TV production from those spaces. So what we wanted to do is create a way of intelligently and dynamically generating the graphics for that. And that's Context. And that was, recognized with the award, which is great.
So this can happen automatically. You can have automatic graphics be popping up during your telecast.
Yeah, so imagine sort of Pathfinder or video routing, but for metadata and graphics.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, so you can intelligently create scripts that say, okay, when an RSS feed changes or the EPG changes or the weather changes, then we can trigger graphics. So some of our customers use it entirely automatically. You can also create little web UIs so people can upload video and audio clips or graphics into that. So maybe they're going to interview you about a book. They can upload very simply a JPEG of that book to bring in vision.
Okay.
So some of it's manual, and some of it's also about like these second screens. So it will also drive outputs which are used to put on branding screens and logos and things in the studio. So some of it's graphics behind, some of it's graphics as layers in front.
A couple days ago, I was over here in your booth talking about virtual rack. I love talking about virtual rack. My employer, Telos Alliance, is one of the companies making containerized software. And some people want to do that on their own hardware. Some people want to buy a small appliance. You have made that very easy for people to deploy. This is not easy stuff to deploy if you're not already well into the containerized software world. Can you spend another moment and tell me about Virtual Rack? And you mentioned that some surprisingly large organizations are taking advantage of Virtual Rack.
Yeah, so we wanted to accelerate the adoption, and Telos were one of the leaders in taking their hardware products and making them available as containers. Mm-hmm. And containers, it's a great technology, but there is a degree of complexity around the hardware specificity that you have to put it on and the operating system, and some people are not comfortable with bare metal hardware and command line Linux. So we wanted to wrap that into an appliance which really anyone can use and install. You plug a 2U server in, plug it into the network, and manage it through a web browser. So we thought that would create maybe somewhere in the middle. I mean, Telos have a great little product, the AP3000, which you can pre-install individual container elements on. So we wanted to create something which was more flexible that sat on top of that. Yeah. And then we maybe thought some of the big enterprise customers would manage containers themselves. It turns out that people are very happy with these virtual rack appliances. Yeah. And I'm just flying after this down to Australia, where 9, which is a big TV and radio network, have just bought 24 virtual racks, I think, 8 in their data centers. 6, I think it'll eventually be in each of their regional sites. And while they've got incredibly smart IT people and enterprise IT, they just really love this idea of an easy to manage appliance, which is a piece of broadcast equipment. It adds also some extra backup capability and resilience capability that's, again, really hard to do, roll on your own. And so, that's been an incredibly successful product for us. And I hope an empowerment for our industry to really lead us forward, because we need to have that flexibility and agility, but we don't want all the kind of complexity that comes with it.
Empowerment, I think, is a great word, because a lot of people see that step into the virtualized world as being a very large step. And your virtual rack, I think you said you plug it in, you browse into it, hook it to your network, and then you choose the applications that you want to install.
Yeah, so we use that word applications. So we don't really talk about containers because that's why do you care about the technology that's deploying it? What you really want as a broadcast engineer is give me a virtual rack of broadcast equipment. So here we're showing a virtual rack 16, which is 16 rack units essentially of space.
Okay.
So you can rack 16 small applications in there, or maybe like the Telos Zephyr Connect is 64 codecs. But that's 4 AU. But then you know how that works. So you know, okay, I can fit 4 of those, or 4 of those and 8 of those. And for the first time here, we're able to show a virtual rack with the entire air chain. So we've got mic processors, we've got mixers, we've got talk show systems, we've got codecs, we've got streaming engines, we've got final FM processors. So you could put this microphone in over live wire from mic processing to micro MPX on the outside. And that, I think, is, again, it's helping people see a virtual rack as not just a utility for doing a whole bunch of codecs or a whole bunch of processing. That can be your whole air chain from microphone to transmitter. And that's, I think, a game-changing way people are thinking about the technology differently.
You're a worldwide company. How do broadcasters get in touch to find out about virtual rack? You sell through dealers, direct? How does this work?
Yeah, so they can find information about the products from us. We're just bionic.radio. And otherwise, we've got distribution in like 120 different countries. And there's information about all that on our website.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dan McQuillan. Thank you for the space and the bandwidth. I appreciate it very much. Thanks. It's awesome. All right. Hey, we're here at NAB 2024, and my boss is here. Come on in. Scott Stiefel, who is the CEO at Telos Alliance. Scott, it's a delight.
Hey, good to see you again, Kirk.
Thank you for joining us. You were on the show, I guess, a couple of years ago or so?
Yes, it was not as pleasant circumstances.
Supply chain issues.
Supply chain crisis, talking about...
But you helped our audience really understand the challenges and what companies, Telos in particular, but others were doing to try to solve that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it wasn't really an academic lecture. So, my knowledge that I was talking about actually came from personal experience, sadly, right? So I had to get up to speed very quickly on the entire electronic supply chain. Not something I would normally want to think about, right? When you just want to build, right? So this was, so much more pleasant circumstances today.
So one of the cool things about Scott being in charge of being CEO at Telos Alliance is you have a very technical background, but you also have a business degree.
True enough, yes. So sometimes I say I got lobotomized and had to return my engineering degree when I got my MBA. Yeah.
All right. So here at the show, I mean, you're in a position where you get to kind of oversee what the conversations are going on. People like Cam Eicher, my immediate supervisor, comes back to you. Marty and others come back to you. What are you noticing any trends or commonalities of what people are asking about, thinking about these days?
Well, the nice thing is, I've been coming to NAB since 1995, and it's been a gradual transition. But the thing that sticks with me this year is we've done a complete pivot from bring a bunch of boxes, let people come over, push buttons, put headphones on and listen, to let's have conversations. We're talking about workflows. We're talking about virtualization. We're talking about integration of different products and platforms. And we're actually, the guys in our booth are talking to customers about how to do these things and how to completely change, and get more efficient, do things in the cloud, do things in hybrid workflow modes, with people remote. And it's just a very different vibe than let me see the new box or the new console that you have here or the new widget. So that's the exciting thing.
You really summarized that well, because I noticed, and maybe we planned it that way, maybe it's the way the industry is going, but my own experience with customers at our booth has been just that. We're having conversations, and the equipment is there maybe to punctuate or to illustrate our conversation, but it's less about the equipment and more about what are we doing going forward? How can our workflow be enhanced or enabled by the things that we're making?
Yeah, and it's all about creativity, right? How can we produce better content using virtualization, hybrid workflows, remote work, totally change both the experience of the creation process, but also how the audience is going to perceive it, which I think is important. As radio, it gets more and more competitive every year because there are more avenues for people to consume audio than just traditional over-the-air radio.
Just before the show started here, there was an award given. Did the radio world make their way over to the Telos booth, or have you been there?
I haven't been there to see it, so I was actually in the Encore all morning for a series of meetings with another potential partner. So, which of course that's a whole nother conversation, very exciting. So I haven't even spent much time in the booth today, other than to kind of poke my head and make sure everything's copacetic. And from everything I've heard, it's been.
I think when you walk down the hall, there's going to be a surprise for you.
Ah, excellent.
Good. Anything else you'd like to tell our engineer and other viewers about here at This Week in Radio Tech?
No, I just want to thank every customer that Telos has and every future customer that Telos is going to have that might be watching this. And come on by the booth or give us a call or talk to one of our salespeople, because we're very appreciative. We're not here without you, and you drive us to innovate and create better products, and hopefully we're delivering on that promise.
This is one of the things I appreciate about the management team at Telos. People like you, like Marty Sachs, really teaching all of us employees to ask questions and shut up and listen. And that this is a great position, great attitude for a manufacturer to have.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for me coming to NAB, since I'm not on the sales staff, my main value I get from it is to learn from our customers.
Yeah.
You know, stay abreast of what's going on, get those juicy, you know what you guys should do, or you know what would be a great idea, you know, and instead of just hearing that from my mother, who's always giving me those kind of ideas. So, yeah, to me, it's incredibly valuable to come out here every year and hear what people are doing and all the creative ways they're hooking up our stuff with competitor stuff, with third-party gear, and it's just wonderful to see. So
It's always nice to be recognized. So I'm excited for you to find out what's. I don't know either, but there's something in the. They were headed from here straight down the Telos.
Excellent. Okay. All right, looking forward to it.
Thanks, Scott, very much. Appreciate it very much. Hey, it's This Week in Radio Tech. We are live at NAB 2024. In just a few minutes, Jeff Schick is going to join us. You want to go ahead and sit down? Take a load off your feet?
Oh, yes.
Well, we got a couple things to do first. Then we'll have you got a few minutes?
For you, definitely.
Well,
Hey, you know, this is great because I'm a listener. I usually listen in my car, and now I'm here. I get to see exactly what's on the show live. This is even better than being in my car.
You're so kind. This is one of the lowest entertainment shows that's out there. But thank you for listening.
Come on, you're selling yourself short on that.
Oh, hey, our show is brought to you in part by Broadcasters General Store. In fact, that's where you are, right?
I'm in Broadcasters General Store booth with the family. I'm trying to get adopted there. I was a longtime customer for years before I came out with my products, and they said, you know, come on down. They've always treated me right, and they used to like me because I would spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. They still like me, and I like them as well.
I spent a few dollars with them as well. They're good people, and we're going to talk about your company, Sprite Media, in a few minutes. This Week in Radio Tech is brought to you in part by Broadcasters General Store and one of their vendors, which is Inovonics. We were just talking a couple days ago about this Inovonics triple tuner for AM, FM, and NOAA weather radio. This is so cool because it's got 3 tuners in it, and each one of them can be AM, FM, or NOAA. If you've got 3 AM stations and you need to monitor them, bam, there you go. You got 3 AM tuners in there, or FM, or NOAA weather radio, any combination you need. This tuner, you know it's from Inovonics, so you know it works really well. It's designed to be your EAS monitor receiver. It has 3 mono analog outputs. It has a LAN port, which, by the way, you can remotely listen to the tuners by remote from any browser. Dynamic web interface provides control and monitoring remotely. It's so cool. You hook up antennas to it. For your obviously antennas appropriate for AM reception, for FM reception, or for NOAA weather radio reception. It does have SNMP, and that's fully supported. So if you are a shop where you do SNMP, hey, no problem. It works very well with that. You can check on it with automatic systems that way. You can also have alerts sent to email or text, email to text services. You can get alarms like audio loss or low signal or an RDS error. You could get alerted for that. Or if there is an EAS alert tone. So many different things that this box does. You know, Inovonics, they make some high quality stuff. It just works. I've got a number. I don't have this one yet at my stations. Actually, this came out just a few months after we needed a triple tuner. So for our next project, we're going to be getting one of these. And just love this thing. Half rack width size. It fits in your rack. It's got a rack mount kit. And like I said, it's web enabled, so you can really check on it, and it's useful. It has useful features for your web enablement. Get this through Broadcasters General Store. They'll be glad to give you a quote. Contact bgs.cc. That's the website. Their phone number, I've memorized this for years, Jeff. It's 352-622-7700. I've been calling them for a long
I
time.
have it on speed dial.
Speed dial. They speed dial is in my head, I think.
Oh,
And I got to say a good thing. BGS has, I think, what you'd call sharp pencils.
yes, they do.
They give very good pricing. They also have a very customized computer system at BGS, which really helps them tie down the time of delivery, giving you delivery options if you need something quick or overnight or in a couple days, or if you don't need it for a couple weeks. They can work with you on any of those bases. So thanks a lot, Broadcasters General Store and Inovonics, for sponsoring This Week in Radio Tech. All right, Jeff, Sprite Media, you are present at so many events, SBE meetings and so forth, big supporter. Tell us what Sprite Media does.
Sprite Media, we do digital signage for the broadcast world, mostly radio stations. We have a stretch clock, which is unique. It's 1920 by 540, and people are walking right in and see it and say, what is that? Because it doesn't look like a TV. It's a video display. I got the idea at a subway stop.
Oh.
So I'm like, that would be cool if we can make that into a broadcast clock. And a few months later, I did. So it's 750 nits, so it's 2.5 times brighter than a normal TV.
Oh.
And we bring it here every year. It gets a lot of attention. And we also have some digital signage for the broadcaster. We have something called the Presenter, which we introduced last year, which is meant for a lobby. See, a lot of the facilities, and you've probably seen this firsthand, have TVs. They just slap TVs on the wall. We like to say, what's on your screen?
Right.
Because people put the local cable channel on and or a logo. We do more than that.
Yeah.
And we do the work because no chief engineer, me being a former chief engineer, no one has the time to do that stuff. So we do it for you. So we have weather and traffic and news and photos from the station, and that appears one at a time on the Presenter with a motion background. There's no glitches in anything. It's high definition video.
Yeah.
We have another product called the Dashboard, which looks a little like the Brady Bunch. It's got boxes, and each box has different pieces in it. So people come up to me and they say, well, how hard is this to do? I'm like, it's not for you to do, it's for me to do.
Oh.
You look at it, you say, gee, I like that, but I want to have 5 clocks on that. I'm like, I can do that. And it's a pay one price situation. You own it. There's no licensing. There's no monthly fee. The first time I came out here was with the digital signage was 2015, and I had a model that was paid per month, and people were like, no, we don't want to pay per month. We just want to buy it and be done with it. And I listen. That's why I'm here. I get so many ideas from people coming up who bought the signs or are interested in the signs. So can it do this? And I usually say, either yes, or I'll tell you next week if I can do that. Because we write the software behind it, and it's always great to get out here. We have people who sometimes don't even know that we do what we do, and they're like, "That's great." We had a couple of people who bought digital signage hardware and didn't know what to do with it. They like, I can't even get a clock on the screen. So I'm like, that's where we'll help you there.
I'm wondering, we mentioned radio station lobbies, maybe control rooms, maybe it's in the background of a shot for visual radio. But what about, do radio stations ever put signage at maybe some of their best customers' locations?
You know what? That was a concept that goes way back. Remember the old radio station clocks, that station?
Yeah.
So we actually had the concept of putting it in a client or a good as almost a value added to an advertisement where it would have the radio station logo. We had this idea. We haven't put it out there, but we thought about having a mixture of what the client wanted on the screen and the radio station on the screen, including RDS, where it has the song that's playing right now. Yeah. So it would have radio station information. Plus, if it's a diner, the diner can put their specials in. That's a great idea. We haven't really run with it just yet, but this is why I am here. No. You may, next year you may see me have that up there, but this is where I gather from the people who need it. I'm not the one to come up with what a radio station needs. The radio station's got to tell me what they need, and usually we say yes, and we usually are able to make it. If there's a need, we'll make it.
Cool. If people want to know about Sprite Media, what's the website?
It's www.sprite-media.com. Okay. Don't forget the dash in the middle, and also BGS knows all about us, so you can always call them, and they know where we are. And you probably met Keith along the way. Keith is our sales and marketing guy, and he makes friends with everybody. He knows everybody. He makes friends with everybody.
Is there anything you can do to make him more friendly?
I made the mistake. I gave him an energy drink yesterday.
No.
So I think we're in. Yes. You wanted to talk a little bit about SBE real quick?
Yeah, sure. Please do.
So So SBE had their get together, that their meeting last night, and the
This is the national membership
national
meeting.
membership,
Okay.
and I don't think I've seen the room more crowded than it is.
Good. I
And-
couldn't be there.
Yeah, we missed you. Yeah,
I was out with a customer.
Well, you know,
It was a very interesting evening.
okay.
Yeah.
We'll save that for later. But the room was full. I've never seen the room so crowded. They said the Ennis workshop has had more people than they've ever had before.
Yeah, I was there for that. I got to speak at a couple things.
Speaking, you spoke at our Ennis workshop. So we're Chapter 15, New York City. I'm currently the chairman, and we've just got a tremendous momentum. We're the biggest chapter in the world, and we keep getting bigger. And we've got a lot of young people joining, especially from Hofstra University. Shout out to Andy Gladding there. Conrad Troutman is vice chairman. He's been putting together tremendous programs. You've been on some of our programs before, and it's just good to see the momentum is ticking up. It was quiet when we kind of took it over about 4 years ago, but we just want to keep it going. We have our barbecue, which you're always invited to in June at WFAS, and we have a barbecue truck. And when that thing starts cooking, you smell it, and if you feed the engineers, they will come.
They do.
Yeah, so we love what's going on between National and our New York City chapter, and we always invite people to join us when we do our Zoom calls or our meeting in person. We're very welcoming, and you never know who the next great engineer coming out of there will be. And you were there for the Ennis workshop where Frank Foti gave a talk. That was fantastic.
Yep. This is the one that was up at Hofstra
University. Yeah, the great facility, great turnout. We just want to keep it going.
Cool.
Yeah.
Jeff, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. We're going to hear a quick interview. Hang with us for a second. We got to talk to George Whittam. Now, George has been on the show before. He is the engineer to the voiceover stars, okay? Knows a lot about microphones, room treatment, all that kind of stuff. And Suncast, if you're ready, let's roll this interview with George Whittam right now.
Well, good morning. I'm Freddie Gately from VocalBooth.com. We are here at the NAB show. I'm here with George the Tech Whittam.
How you doing?
Good, George. It's always good to hang out with you, man. Always a pleasure. So it's the first morning of NAB. We're excited. 2024. We've got the booth all set up to be able to do live casts, to be do podcasts. So we've got some stuff scheduled that's going to be coming out throughout the show. Some content that's going to go out live, as well as some content that we're going to be uploading nightly as well. So very cool. Very cool to be able to do this at a trade show. Also, to be able to show that this is what can be done. We've actually had a lot more clients recently be doing stuff from trade shows, even like veterinary clinics. There's a big veterinary folks that do a podcast on veterinary stuff. And
another big one is FinTech, too.
FinTech, huh? Yeah. We're working with Earthworks this year. They're providing us these awesome Ethos microphones. And George is the one that turned me on to these microphones. He said, you got to check these things out. They're in a class all their own. How did you come across Earthworks?
Yeah, well, one of my guys at George the Tech, Mike McGonigal, knows some of one of the guys from Earthworks, and he told me, you got to check out this mic, So they were very nice to send me one to try out, and I was really impressed. I mean, this is really a mic that started in studios, and then when they came out with this form factor for doing broadcast and radio and podcasting, obviously, it was a huge hit. Then they dropped the price to this affordable price point to compete with the other big dogs, and it's a no-brainer. Sounds amazing.
No, I was super impressed too, because everybody sees the Shure SM7Bs. They are the podcast mic. They're recognizable. They have a cool look to them. But hey, it almost makes anybody sound pretty good, but it's like extremely muffled.
They look kind of old school now compared to these. These things look way sharper.
Yeah.
They have a really cool look to them.
They're tuned stainless steel, but you can get right down to see all the condenser. Yeah.
Yeah, and they even when you get up and eat this mic, it never gets woolly and muffled.
Yeah.
It has a really clean sound. So really nice stuff.
The thing that blew me away for it too is the pattern on it. I can come all the way over here, and so I'm not even talking at any microphone. It's the side of mics. We could literally be coming.
You can have two people sharing this mic, or if you're a voice actor, this allows you to work the microphone. You can work around the mic, but the back of the mic rejects extremely well. So if you have a noise source or a noisy part of the room or a big glass window, you put the dead side to the glass and the reflection disappears. So
Yes.
that's what I love. Just all the practical stuff you can do with mics, mic placement, arranging your space to make it sound good. You don't have to go crazy with solutions. It just takes some practical solutions sometimes. So, and that's why I love working with you guys at Vocal Booth, because you like creating practical solutions that fit the customer's needs. Or you do the other side, which is here's a one-size-fits-all thing that's extremely cost-effective, and we can ship it to you right now. You really cover the gamut, you know?
Yeah,
It's a
thanks,
nice arrangement.
absolutely. And again, with the Earthworks, this kind of seems to be like, the word of mouth mic. I mean, people
Yeah.
that know, they know.
I think that's what they're doing. They drop the price on these to an extreme degree, but they're putting them in the hands of the best artists and realizing this is the way we get these things, and it's working, guys. Good job, Earthworks.
So we're excited about that. We're actually giving away one of their Icon USB microphones. All you got to do is enter on our website, or you can go ahead right through like our Facebook. We've got a link on there, vocalbooth.com/NAB right now. So it's a very simple one. Throw in your email, throw in your name, and we'll put you in. So you don't even have to be at the show. If you're at the show, come on over, get your badge scanned, and we'll put you into that as well. So yeah, it was
One last thing I got to plug.
plug it.
We have a new kit. We have the
That's
VO
right.
Acoustics kit that's on display here in the booth today as well, so you can see what it looks like, how it works.
You betcha, and that was what I was going to get to, is how you're even like standing in the booth. So we got together, and George, it's really been fun. We've developed a relationship with George over the last year. We've always known who he was, but we've gotten to work directly with you on some stuff where he called up and said, "You want to know what I have to do to all of your booths?" And I said, "Absolutely, I want to know."
Not just you guys.
To any booth, right? Yep. So we developed a booth kit. So it's an acoustics kit. We put together a full different layers of absorption and of treatment in a specific way and specific locations and thicknesses, and it's what we coined a broadband absorption unit.
Right.
So
Right.
It takes care of everything that you need to be able to put it into a booth, and it just comes out sounding industry standard. So it's a plug-and-play solution.
Yeah, the beauty of it is the simplicity of installing it, because you get three pieces that are the main part of the acoustic kit, and so it doesn't take 6, 7, 8 panels. This 3-piece solution works in any small booth, and it's shockingly effective. I'm using it in another booth that I own at home. It has a huge glass door. Doesn't matter. It really takes care of all the reflections and the resonances, and it's very, very easy to install. That's the key thing. It works, and it's easy to install.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That can go into the whisper rooms, into the studio bricks, into closets, and into any existing or future vocal booths. So it's something for everybody out there. If you're by the show, come on, check it out. We've got our brand new Silver Series out here as well. The Silver Series is $37.50 shipped anywhere in the U.S., and it's a super value. It comes with ventilation system, with lights that are in there, almost full coverage, good ventilation.
Super important.
And then, there's different options and stuff you can check out with that. We got a VO1 on display here for the second year. That one continues to be very popular for people that don't need a crazy amount of isolation. They're not broadcasting from the floor of a convention, but from a bedroom or from a studio office. Don't want to commit to a large built-in booth. That one works out wonderfully. And again, we're inside of a Platinum Plus, which is an 8x10 booth, and we've had a ton of people in here. We can fit a whole bunch of folks and be really comfortable for doing some interviews.
And this is a true double wall style.
This is a true double wall style, and even this one has double layers of glass, acoustic STC rated glass, and outfitted with a few panels and stuff to be able to show the thing off. So if you're at NAB, come on by and check it out. You can also check out some of our videos. We'll put up some highlights and stuff when this one is all over, and consolidate some of those interviews. We'll maybe go in a little bit more depth with George on some of the acoustics kits that we've done, show you our new products, get into the nitty gritty with some of the Earthworks mics, and also with a big thing, shout out to Bear Dynamic, who has supplied us our headphones. Like George was saying, with our company vocalbooth.com, we manufacture everything here in the U.S. We take real great pride in what we build. and the quality. And so we only want to partner with companies who have that same vision. So for instance, they mill this out of stainless steel themselves. They're a US based company. And same thing with working with Bear Dynamic. They're a 100-year-old company, and but still very, very approachable and very, very into the quality.
Yeah, I can't say enough about these headphones. I love that these happen to be what you guys got connected with, because they're what I've been using personally for
outstanding.
20+ years, 25 years.
Oh, excellent.
Very first time I put on a pair of these at B&H in New York, they had the headphone wall.
Yep.
And I went to headphone, and I put these on, and I walked out of the store. I was like, that's it. I'm done.
Sold.
And I've been using them. I've only gone through 2 pairs in 25 years.
What I love about it, too, is number one, the comfort. So, you're going to be putting these things on, and you're going to be, spending some serious, it's cave time.
I was doing radio broadcasts for football. I had to be, on the air for 4 hours straight.
4 hours straight, yeah.
Beautifully, so comfortable.
And what I was surprised with is like the microphone. We said this microphone does not color, so it doesn't have like the Shure where it's like everybody's a microphone radio person.
Yes.
You can EQ the snot out of this microphone.
Yeah, it's a pretty
everything.
flat mic. It's not hyped. It's not hyped. So if you want a natural sound, you can leave it that way. If you want to really go the DJ sound, you can get upright and eat it.
That's
and
right.
It still sounds clear. Plosives are under control because the pop screens in these are fantastic. So it just depends on the oral aesthetic you're going for. You want to be DJ style, eat the mic. You want to have a natural sound where it just sounds conversational, back away from it.
Yeah, and that was something that I didn't realize, but the studio foam that's on these ones, I don't call it studio foam, but the microphone, the pop screen, the microphone is actually tuned with this special foam on there. So you get a microphone that isn't just have a pop screen or a wind filter in place.
It's not an afterthought.
But it's not an afterthought, no. And so they said they pay through the nose for this foam to specifically sound as good as it does. But also these these headphones are super flat too, which is amazing. They're not, you don't pick up like a pair of like Beats and it's just bass drivers, and that's how they try to.
No, you can EQ with the. In fact, these are one of the headphones that I've been using to do my sound checks and setting up all the EQ for my voice actors. These are the headphones I'm going to be wearing most of the time because I can trust them.
Yeah, so this is going to be part of a recording package that you'll be able to get along with our studio. So again, we're kind of putting that together so that you're going to have just high quality microphones, high quality cables, a good interface, good headphones, and you're going to be up and ready to go. So check that out on vocalbooth.com. There'll be more information coming. We're going to let some people come in here and check out the booth because as much as we'd love to sit here and talk about stuff, things are firing up out there.
So we need to let people in.
All right. So we'll see you guys soon. And again, from NAB 2024, we'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks a lot, George Whittam, for that blurb, that video interview. And George has been, like I said, VO engineer to the VO stars. He initially did work for Don LaFontaine, the In a World guy.
In the world.
Hey, it's Kirk Harnack. I'm live at NAB 2024, and John Bissett's joined me. Hi, John.
Hey, how are you, Kirk? It's nice to be on here. Good to see you. This has been a crazy show. Really, really nice. Very busy. A lot going on.
John has got a tip of the week coming up in a minute. Right now, though, we're going to add to the Kirk Harnack retirement account.
Very good. Okay. Here's 60 seconds of a spot.
And I've got to pay Suncast from time to time, so we're gonna try to make some money to pay Suncast. I'll tell you about a couple of our usual sponsors because they're wonderful people. And these two companies have now combined some forces. I don't understand all about the business relationship, and it's really not that important other than this company, Triple Helix, is now able to, as an umbrella company, offer engineering services, hardware, reliable wireless services, and Logitech audio consoles all together. But I want to talk about our friends at Angry Audio for just a minute. And I want to talk to you about something that's really made a big impact, and that is their mic processing. Now, you heard me interview Cornelius Gould here on the show a couple of weeks ago. Cornelius came by my house. We had a great conversation about the mic processing. And so Angry Audio is offering mic preamp and processing designed by Cornelius Gould. Now, that's the algorithms designed by Cornelius. And you know who? Mike Dosh designed the mic preamps and the electronics inside. And so the quality is just absolutely amazing. And the kind of the claim to fame that Cornelius has about his processing algorithms for microphones is that Cornelius has he has such an ear for getting a beautiful, natural sound that enhances the good parts and reduces anything bad or undesirable, like room noise. That's what Cornelius is really good at, and that's what's incorporated into the mic processing. And it's a little bit different than most mic processors in that there are two models. There's the Smooth and there's the Rebel. Now, the Smooth is made specifically for Shure SM series microphones, and the Rebel is made specifically for Electro Voice RE series microphones. If you've got some other microphone, well, this may or may not work well for you. You're welcome to try it. You're welcome to do a demo. If it doesn't work out for you, well, send it back. But it's meant for these two very popular microphone capsules in the SM and the RE series. So from Angry Audio, you ought to try one of these things out. They have, of course, mic level in line or mic level output, also a digital AES EBU output, and easy controls to get it set up. These are the Smooth and the Rebel Chameleon mic processors from Angry Audio. Something else from Angry Audio, the other end of that whole chain, and that's the headphone amplifiers. They have the headphone gizmo and the guest gizmo. I've installed both of these recently at my new stations in Oxford, Mississippi, an alt rock station. We got an HD2 and HD3 also there. And I love these headphone amplifiers. They are high quality. They sound great. They're easy to connect because they connect using the Studio Hub standard. And just love these mic processors. And this is the headphone gizmo that's being shown on the screen right now. What I love about this, it's got that nice curve to it. John, you won't snag your pantyhose on it.
Oh, there you go. Absolutely, Kirk.
That's the key thing there. So check it out, Angry Audio on the web at angryaudio.com. Angryaudio.com. They sell through lots and lots of distributors. Now, got a quick message here from Max Connect, and we're going to hear from John Talcock. We'll be right back.
With all of the recent cybersecurity attacks against large corporations, we were looking for a product that would give us the ultimate security at our transmitter sites and as well as with our broadcast equipment. Max Connect fits the bill very well. Its greatest security feature is the fact that it gives you a single static IP address. Using this single static IP address allows us to close hundreds of open ports on our firewalls across the company and restrict access to only the Max Connect IPs. This has greatly reduced our exposure to the World Wide Web and made us much more secure moving forward. It's also given us the ability to expand as needed in a secure fashion.
Wireless, they bring you fantastic wireless products to get data that is almost packet assured, but prioritized certainly, and fixed IP addresses, as John Talcock was just saying. Check it out at Max Connect. I know it's spelled funny, MAXXKONNECT.com. And here's some people that know about Max Connect because they're kind of part of the same company now. Let me introduce everybody. Here's John, my colleague, John Bissett is here. My former colleague and wonderful girlfriend is here. And that's Marianne Seidler. Hi, Marianne.
Hi, honey.
She's my show girlfriend. And my show boyfriend is here, too.
Oh, God. Hi, Kirk.
Hans von Sippen. Hey, Hans.
Yes, hi.
It's so great to see both of you. Thanks for bebopping by.
We'll crash any party, huh?
John was just about to give us a tip of the week, and we got to be out with the show out time is about 5 minutes. So, John, you had a tip of the week for us.
And this is courtesy of you, Kirk. So we're driving over to the convention center this morning. And
are you leaving? Okay.
Oh, so long. See you later.
Au revoir. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen.
So we're driving over to the convention center this morning, and Kirk pulls out his cell phone, and it's not slipping in his hand. And it's like, what is this on the side?
I got a new case, and I love the case in every way, but the sides were a bit slippy, and I couldn't always be assured that I had it in my hand well.
He was really worried about dropping the phone. You don't want to drop a phone these days. So he found this device called skateboard grip tape sheet.
Yeah.
It's a sheet of grip tape that you can cut into little tiny strips, and then you can glue them on the side of the cell phone. He had another idea. If you put dish towels over the oven handle and had them fall off, you put a little piece of this tape on the back of the oven handle and lay the cloth over top of it. It's not going to go anywhere. Really, really neat idea. I can think of a number of places around the radio station and also TV and at the transmitter site where something like this would really be helpful. So you go on Amazon, look for skateboard grip tape sheet. They'll send you a sheet of this stuff. You can cut it up as however you'd like. It'll do this trick for you. It's really great.
You know, I got this idea actually from a podcast about firearms. And the idea was to, if you need a better grip on a firearm, whether it's a paint gun or an actual boom boom firearm, maybe the stormtroopers could use this, and they have a little better pew pew aim. You know.
There you go. Yes.
But you can put grip tape on the grip of a firearm, or even on the forward of the trigger guard, so that your finger wouldn't slip off the trigger guard. And so I bought a piece of this, a slab of it, the size of a skateboard. And I don't skateboard, but you can use scissors to cut it into whatever size and shape you need. So I cut very thin strips for the cell phone. Yeah.
You recall what it cost, Kirk?
It may have been $13 or $15.
Oh, wow. So it's very reasonable.
It'll last the rest of your life, like a bottle of Worcestershire sauce. You know.
Absolutely.
But it's self-adhesive. It's got adhesive on the back, and it feels like sandpaper, but it doesn't come off like sandpaper.
Very good.
Yeah. So anyway, and uses, if you've got something that you need to make sure you don't let go of, and maybe there's some pieces of equipment around the radio station that maybe you're grabbing a handle, but sometimes it slips out of your hand, put some grip tape. Grip tape is sold in rolls like tape, and that's not what I'm talking about. This is a sheet of it it's meant to be used as a whole sheet on a skateboard.
Okay.
Yeah. Or trimmed to the size of the skateboard. I don't know nothing about no skateboards. So
come on now.
But it's great. Yeah.
That's really, really neat. Well, I was just thinking about tools, putting this on the screwdriver or on a wrench to be able to give you a little bit more grip so that it doesn't slip when you're trying to undo those crusty old bolts.
Sometimes my grip slips on a pair of diagonal cutters, or I have a small, not adjustable wrench. I work on that too, but what's the word I'm looking for? We got a channel lock.
Oh, channel lock pliers. Yeah, absolutely.
So it'll improve your grippiness onto that.
That'll be great. That's really good. Hey, and let me tell everyone, we got a couple of rewards. You'll have to be watching for it. I'm sure that Kirk will be talking about it, but we're really appreciative of Radio World and some of the other magazines that have recognized all the effort that has gone into the NAB on Telos's part, bringing up brand new products.
John, thank you for joining us. We are out of time, and I appreciate you participating in this.
Thank you.
Thanks to all of our guests, and huge thanks to Broadcast Bionics. We're in their booth here at NAB 2024 in the Central Hall. Bandwidth is expensive and hard to come by, and I appreciate them sharing their bandwidth. You know what they did for me? They even disconnected their own internet usage for the hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, really. And we're sitting here at the Bionic table, which is just we didn't use these microphones. I was just too late to get it set up. But this is a beautiful idea for several people coming and sitting down, having a conversation, having it all recorded, and there's very little in the way. My junk here is taking up way more room than their microphones. The Bionic table, all kinds of great ideas from Broadcast Bionics. All right, we got to go. Huge thanks to Suncast, taking a special day to produce our show. Thank you so much, Suncast. You're very much appreciated every single day, and just thanks for being there and helping us out. Thanks to Chris Tarr. He couldn't be here today, but he'll be here, I'm sure, next time. And next time we're doing this show, I'll be in the Dominican Republic. I got to go find some bandwidth there.
There we go. Lots of luck. I think you'll do fine.
I maybe the show will be in Spanish next week. I don't know. All right, we'll see you next week on This Week in Radio Tech. Bye-bye.